Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Bakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to my fellow laborers, to the 144,000 in the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen that look like the heathen, the Israelite foreigners, and to my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a quick lesson. And it's an article that my son sent me a couple days ago, and I saved it, and the spirit got on me to do it today. I've been wanting to read this article. It's going to be a quick lesson, but straight to the point. And to edify the sheep. But this is on RT, as you can see, and it says U.S. will not be spared if Israel-Hamas war escalates, then Iran. So it says Iran's foreign minister, let's go ahead and open it up. Salakia. It says Iran's foreign minister has accused Washington of managing the genocide in Palestine. It says the U.S. will not be spared if Israel-Hamas war escalates. Iran's foreign minister, I read that part. It says the U.S. will not be spared from this fire if Israel's genocide against Palestine's peoples continues. Iran's foreign minister, Hossein Amir Abdullahian, told the UN General Assembly in New York on Thursday, I say frankly to the American statesmen and the military forces who are now managing the genocide in Palestine that we do not welcome the expansion of the war into this region, Amir Abdullahian said. Amir Abdullahian said in his address. But I will warn that if the genocide in Gaza continues, they will not be spared from this fire, he continued. This is our home, and West Asia is our region. All right? That was the main point that made me want to do a lesson on this. Because West Asia consists of Turkey, Syria, Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, and Iraq, which they falsely and fraudulently call the Middle East. As you can see, the nations of the world are not allowing Esau's false narratives to go forward anymore. Right? Anyone wants to question that, well, there it is. This is a map of Asia. All right? And Israel sits right there. It's in Asia. Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, all right, Yemen, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Iran, and Iraq, and Turkey. That's in Western Asia, all right? Okay? India is in Asia, Thailand, China, Mongolia, Russia, over here. Now you're talking about Eastern Asia, all right, going into Japan and South Korea, okay, Thailand and Cambodia. You way east now, all right. So just so you can see that the Middle East is a racist term to try to connect Caucasians to the region, all right. And truthfully said, Caucasians are from there. They're from Edom, which is just below the land of Israel, all right. But that's very powerful, just how Putin is doing these, showing the Negro coats. Icons of the Lord and the Mother, of Yahushai and Mary, or who they fraudulently call Jesus and Mary. He's showing you all the dark icons, the Negroid icons of the saints from the dark and Middle Ages, all right, that predate all the whitewash ones that came about during the Renaissance, the rebirth, when they whitewashed everything. So, these people, Esau is just being exposed on every level. All right. Once again, he continued, this is our home and West Asia is our region. There is no such thing as the Middle East. All right. We do not compromise with any party and any side and have no reservations when it comes to our home security. So he's saying this is our home. And if you bring that war here, it's not going to go good for you. U.S. President Joe Biden has pledged that Washington will stand forever with Israel and is currently pushing Congress to authorize $14 billion package of military aid to the Jewish state. Meanwhile, the U.S. is positioned 2 aircraft carriers groups and other naval vessels and assets, a squadron of F-16 fighter jets, air defense systems, 900 troops, which is now way more than that now, to the and he said Middle East when it's Western Asia. He just identified since Hamas militants launched their surprise attack on Israel on October 7th. And this is what Biden said. All right, says Biden and his officials have declared these deployments are intended to dissuade Iran from getting involved in the conflict, either directly or by instructing Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. Tehran, however, has argued that Washington's full-throated backing of West Jerusalem makes escalation more likely. So this thing is getting hot, and it's not gonna and go forward. We want it to go forward because this is fulfilling prophecy and gets us closer to the return of the Lord and to the downfall of Esau Edom. All right. It says, it is a great shame that the American president announced that the U.S. would dispatch hundreds of planes, ships, trucks filled with military equipment to the occupied territories to support the mass murder that Israel is committing in Gaza, but has managed to coordinate plans for only 20 trucks carrying humanitarian aid to enter the besieged enclave, Amar Abdalian said on Sunday. All right. So Biden calls it the Middle East. Abdallah, what's his name again? Hussein Amir Abdalian calls it Western Asia. The maps also call it Asia, and it is the western portion of Asia that they purposely and fraudulently call the Middle East, and that's all to control a racial made-up narrative that they've made up. All right, so there's no such thing as the Middle East. All right, it's Western Asia. Okay, it's Asia. The Middle East sits in Western Asia. All right, so this is fulfilling prophecy of the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is in Joel, which I'm about to get. And then read a few more scriptures, get ready to close this out. And all this is over the controversy of Zion. You see? That's what this comes down to. Let me put that back on the screen. Wish I could highlight it. Where he says it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So let's start here. There we go. West Asia is our region. All right. There is no such thing as the Middle East. But here we go. Let's go to Joel, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. It's in the Lord. The Lord's name is in it. This is Joel 3 and 1. And it reads, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," both the northern and southern kingdom. Our captivity is going to be ended. All right. This scripture, just proves that the people in the land, in our homeland, are not the people of the Lord, because it's not that, they claim to just be Judah, and all in Jerusalem, the whole northern kingdom has to be there too. When Israel goes home, they all go home. All right. right, and I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, which they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the real Israel is still scattered among the nations, and the land have been parted between the Edomites. All right, that video, that compilation, they did get rid of it off TikTok. All right, I imagine they're gonna come after my video soon because I use footage from it. All right, well, that about 25 rabbis all point out the fact that Western Christianity, both America and Europe, are the descendants of the Roman Edomites. The Edomites were Romans, and all of Western Christianity is Edom. All right, the rabbis completely do not support Christianity, but whitewashed Christianity supports the rabbis, supports Judaism, just because of the pale skin, for racist, for prejudice reasons, not for very prejudiced and racist reasons, and no other. All right, trying to hide the fact that Asia, both West Asian and East Asia, which is right next to Africa, that whole region was all dark people. Matter of fact, even Europe was dark people. The Etruscans and the Minoans were Negroid type people as well. They were very dark complected. All right, and so this war, this gathering there, is going to bring on the Lord's anger, the day of the Lord, and that's why He's putting it on their spirits to make all these things happen, so He can pass judgment upon them. That's in Isaiah 34:8, and it reads, "For this is a day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion." All right, you got to remember that one Israeli minister, all right, high-ranking government official, said that the problem in Israel is the young American Negro. Why is that? How is the young American Negro the problem in Israel when you over there fighting Hezbollah and Hamas? How the fuck? How is that? You know why? Because they know that the American Negro knows that they're the real Judeans. And they know, the Israelis also know this too, at least the ones in charge, because they've brainwashed all their youth. All right? But you best believe that the government people in charge and and their educators, they're all know. That's why Shlomo Sand made the book, that he did a couple years back, talking about the creation of the Jewish state, or the creation, the creation of the Jewish people. What's his name? Arthur Koestler, when he made the 13th tribe, he said in order for these people to be Israelites, there would have to have been a 13th tribe. There wasn't a 13th tribe, So they're out and they're exposed. Okay, let's grab another scripture. Let's go to Amos. All right, because when you start talking about prophecies and fitting prophecies, they only fit the prophecies of the thievery of the land of Israel, the dividing of it. Because when Israel goes home, they're not going to be at war with anyone. They're going to dwell there in peace and safety alone, as the scripture says in Deuteronomy. All right, they're not going to be fleeing, using their passports to go back to the lands that they just came back from because they're scared to be in their own land. These people just so don't fit the prophecies. It's ridiculous that people still want to believe the lie that these people have appropriated, which has been falling apart years ago with the men of the Lord showing forth the receipts and the evidences. But pure hate and racism is the reason they ignore the evidence. Remove that evidence out of my court. Now we can proceed without that evidence. That's basically what we're talking about here. All right? But yeah, let's go to the book of Amos. This is Amos 7:17, and it reads, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city," and this is the curses that fell upon Israel. And man, our wives are harlots in the city. All right? It says, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword daily." By Esau, Edom, and their law enforcement, also by themselves from the guns that's also provided by Esau, Edom, and sometimes their law enforcement. The guns that come into the hood, we've given you the testimonies for decades that guns have been dropped off, crates of guns into to certain neighborhoods, to certain gangs, so that they can warn other gangs and stuff like that. All right. It says, and thy land shall be divided by line. All right. And so the whole Israel-Palestinian problem, that's prophecy being fulfilled. Edom dividing, going into the land and dividing it. All right. Ishmael's in the land. He doesn't belong there. After the fall of Jerusalem and everything went over, Ishmael mainly went into that land and has been there ever since. All right. And some of the descendants of Jacob stayed and are mixed in among them too. So there's a lot of Israelites among those Palestinians. All right. But let's get one last scripture, the main scripture, and one of my favorites. I know one that the fake JOOs really hate, despise, because it and they never talk about. You never hear them bring. I've heard them talk about Obadiah. I even heard one in that video that they removed talk about how the Lord is coming back to destroy all of Edom. He mentioned Isaiah 63, proving that Edom is still here. The rabbis confirmed it. But they're pointing fingers at the white Christians. No, you rabbis are Edom too. All right, but this is Ezekiel 36 and 5, and it reads, therefore thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. That's all the Edomites, all right, which have appointed my land into their possession. That was Amalek that did that, all right, with the joy of all their heart and with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. It was Israel, the Israelites. Okay. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. So the Lord is going to put that shame back on Edom. Edom is being exposed on a mass scale. All right. That's why you had all these events that happened, shootings, mass shootings, and all these other things to hide the fact of the bank collapses, all these banks closing, and to hide and all the backlash, negative backlash that the Israeli government is getting for its actions against the Palestinians from the world community. The people of the world ain't effing with them on this. All right. At the same time, playing commercials, trying to play victim. All right. You're the one throwing the rocks and busting everybody's head for them to have to get stitches, so to speak. But then every time the camera come on, you holding your head and crying like you've been hurt. That's literally what these people do. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bakakudash, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.